Okay, good afternoon. Today's lesson is on Megilat Eicha, part 3. B'Shem Hashem Naaseh V'Natzliach. This year is for Refuah Shlema to Avraham ben Chana, Shimon Daniel ben Michal, Rafael Chaim Meir ben Sima Chasha, and Ora bat Dalia. Le'ilui Nishmat, Chana bat Masuda, Aaron ben Estreya, Esther bat Chana, Yaakov ben Esther. And for all singles to meet their partner in life, Be'ezrat Hashem, sheyizku livnot bayit ne'eman be'Israel. And last, I want to thank Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for all your chasadim that you have done, all your kindness that you have done with us in the past and will continue to do with us in the future. So to recap, yesterday's lesson, we learned about the two malachim that burned the Bet HaMikdash that is in heaven. Therefore, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Bavel, was able to destroy the Bet HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. And we also learned about the love that Hashem has for us. Now, for today's lesson, part of the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash was also the fact that Hashem took us out of Eretz Yisrael and sent us to Galut. That's part of the destruction, the part of the suffering. In the Zohar, the Ari HaKadosh is the Mekubal who put together the Zohar. He wrote, the Sefer HaZohar explains why Hashem sent us to Galut. Why? He already destroyed the Bet HaMikdash. But why add another punishment? So the Zohar says that for that we have to go back to all the way to Adam. When Adam Harishon, when Adam was created, he was created on a very spiritual level. He was more of a malach than a human being. His chokhmah was unbelievable, and he also had he was on a very high spiritual level. He could go from Gan Eden, where he lived, and go to actually Gan Eden in Shamayim, back and forth. There was no problem for him. And just like someone goes from the first floor of his house to the second floor and comes down again and goes up again, right? So that's how he was able to do this. However, once Adam sinned, he lost a lot of his spirituality. Not only that he lost a lot of his spirituality, he was not anymore on the same level. He did teshuvah, and part of the teshuvah that he did was that he left Chava and he went away for 130 years. During that time, those 130 years, really, they were supposed to be neshamot, what we call nitzotzot, neshamot kedoshot, that were supposed to be born. 130 years, that's a very long time. But all this time he was away. And all that time, there were more and more, as time went by, more and more neshamot, nitzotzot, that were not being born, brought into this world. Why is it so important for these neshamot to be brought into this world? Because they were, by being born and by following Hashem and following the mitzvot, following what they were supposed to do and believing in Hashem, that was supposed to be the tikkun, the fix, to fix the damage that Adam had done. And these nitzotzot that were not born, those nishamot that were not born, now they were spread all over the world. all over. And by spreading us in Galut to many different countries, Jews lived as Jews wherever they went. There were 4 Galuyot. There was Galut Mitzrayim, there was Galut Paras, Galut Yavan, and now Galut Edom. So wherever they lived, in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, in Paras, in Persia, in Greece, right? That the Greeks came over, right? And so during all these Galuyot, all these exiles, the Jews were spread in many, many different countries of the world. But the Jews didn't matter where they were following Hashem, fulfilling the mitzvot, learning Torah. By being Jews and living Jewish lives, they actually were able to fix some of the damage that was done by Adam. They were able to get back some of these neshamot. Once the damage was done, for example, in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, right, through the suffering of the Jews, through the slavery, right, but they still had emunah, but through that suffering alone, and that slavery, that was enough of a tikkun to fix the damage that Adam did. And that's why that in Sefer Devarim, Hashem told us, don't go back to Mitzrayim. That's it. Whatever tikkun had to be done in Mitzrayim, it was done. That's it. It's finished. So there's no need for you to live in Mitzrayim. And so it happened also in Spain, that the Jews were kicked out. So wherever Jews are able to finish the tikkun, either we just leave the country or we are kicked out of the country. Just like in Spain, we were kicked out. It didn't happen to be that we were kicked out. Really, because our tikkun, our fixing of the damage was done in Spain and any other country where Jews lived and they were kicked out of. There were also some neshamot who were that lived actually in bodies, in non-Jews. And that's why we have converts. Just like we have Ruth HaMoaviyah, until today we have people who are converting, who are becoming Jews, just because they realize Hashem is one and they want to follow the way of the Torah. And these people, all these converts, really are converts that the neshamot is a nitzotz from Adam Harishon. From the time that the first Bet HaMikdash was destroyed until they started building the second Bet HaMikdash, there was only a span of 70 years. 70, that's it. Which was a very short time, a very short galut. But that's all they needed. It was fixed fast, but that's all they needed. And that was galut Paras, right? Persia, the galut of Persia. Then there was the galut of Yavan, the Greek galut. That lasted 180 years. Again, it's not so bad. They were able to do the tikkun. But unfortunately, we have been here for 2,000 years, actually, a little over 2,000 years, and that has been really a long time. Why? Because we still have more tikkun to do. We still have to fix. We have not finished doing the fixing the damage done by Adam Harishon. Chachamim say that this galut, which is called Galut Edom, the Galut of Edom, which is really Esav, right? It is called Ikveta de Meshicha. Ikveta comes from the word Ekev, which is the heel, the heel of the foot. The heel of the foot really is like at the bottom of the body, right? It's like where the body ends. And that means that really in our days, we are really at the end of the Galut. As Chachamim say, we are even at the Petah. Petah means at the like at the entrance of the Geula. Just we almost there. We're almost reaching the time of Geula, of being saved, that Mashiach will come and we'll Be'ezat Hashem all go to Eretz Yisrael. And we see in our generation actually, there is more Jews than ever in Eretz Yisrael since 2,000 years ago. There were always Jews. And most of the time, actually, they were really Sfaradim. Most of the time. And but however, we see that in our days, Baruch Hashem, we have 8 million of Jews living in Eretz Yisrael. And that is the fulfillment of the nevuah, of the prophecy that says, Unfutzot Yehuda Yekabetz me'arba kanfot haaretz. That all the Jews that were spread all over of Yehuda, which means really all the Jews that were spread all over the world, they are gathering. They're being gathered into Eretz Israel. And the tikkun that we are doing is not something that is physical. It really is spiritual, and is almost complete. And that's why we say we are almost by the petah, by the right there by the gate of the Geula. Therefore, more and more Jews are settling in Eretz Yisrael. Chachamim also explain that Ekveta mean the Ekev, which is the heel of the foot, which also means, which is the lowest part of the body, means that some neshamot are stuck in some places that are really very, very low spiritually. And through us, we will pull them out. We will get them out from those low places. Our task is actually much more complex and difficult than the ones of the previous Galuyot. Why? Just look at this. It's been 2,000 years and we have not finished. Our spiritual work is really intensive. And if we don't do it, then we really miss the purpose of putting out these neshamot. So every time we miss, it means we're staying longer in Galut. In the Gemara, it says that once there was a Tzedoki. These were Jews, but they did not believe in Torah Sheba'al Peh, the oral Torah. So because of that, we cannot marry them. We don't consider them Jewish. So, and really, they have given us a very hard time throughout history. And one of them once said to Rabbi Hanina that Hashem has left us and sent us away from him. He's not taking care anymore of us, and because of our averot. That's it. He threw us away. That's it. Go. I don't want to know about you. I don't want to hear from you. That's it. And that's the reason why he sent us to the Galut and sent us away from Eretz Yisrael. So according to his words, then Ben Israel can't really fix the damage done by Adam HaRishon, if that's really what he's saying is true. We cannot fix anything anywhere. And according to his words, then we will never be redeemed from our Galut, and we will never be brought back to Eretz Yisrael. And there is a question here. What basis does this Tzedoki have to say, has to say that we will never be redeemed? What does he get this from? And so that's really a question. I will answer Bezat Hashem this question in our next class. May Hashem help us and bless us and bring us back, help us bring back the Nitzutzot HaKedusha, and Hashem bless us all with Briut, Shalom, Parnasa Tova, Nachat, Simcha, and Zivugim.